Hello guys, welcome to this episode of the Transfer Portal CFB podcast presented by NoContextCFB. And guys, they said it could not happen. They said it would never happen. We are going to get UCLA versus Maryland conference games at 11 a.m. And I just realized because, we got one person here that's a UCLA fan and we got the other one. Well, let's just say don't acknowledge, that school by the name. So, Doug, how you doing today?
Hey, we get buyout money that can go to lawsuits. So it is what it is.
Let's go to the UCLA fan here. How you doing, Liam?
Doing good. Feeling big. That was really lame. I'm sorry.
That also sounded really bad.
You sound really depressed, man.
I'm not depressed. I'm on top of the
Hey, you want
world.
me to
I
start
run the
this
Big
over? I
Ten
don't
now.
know.
No.
Start over
Let's
why?
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, bro.
Why'd you start over?
It's an emergency pod.
Because I don't know if we were attacking you or I don't know what we were doing.
I don't care if I'm being attacked. I
Emergency
should
pod,
be
no
getting
way.
attacked. I run the conference now. Like you guys should be coming after me.
Whoa.
Easy there. Easy there.
Whoa. Can you even beat Rutgers? Can you even beat
try.
Rutgers?
We'll try. We did. I mean, we got Raekwon O'Neal from them, and Miles Johnson transferred from there for basketball and left after a year, but he came here for the schooling, the engineering program, so that's big. You're
Let's
bringing
go
a lot
to
to
the
the table.
Ducks. Let's just go to the Ducks fan here. Dylan, you feel like you're about to be on death row going to Big Ten now? How you feeling?
We're about 110 seconds into this podcast, and I'm already regretting this. This is going to be a wild episode. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to feel because Oregon, I don't know where they're going to end up by tomorrow at this point. Who knows? So I'm just kind of riding the wave at this point.
And in case you haven't heard, we got our Nebraska Scott Frost super fan over here. We got Kenzie. I feel like it's been a while since she's been on here. Kenzie, how you doing?
Happy to provide some great vibes, great insight on this emergency pod. And just wanted to remind Liam that the last time UCLA and Nebraska met.
We don't actually speak about the
UCLA
Foster
did
Farms
lose.
Bowl of 2015 to a 5-win Nebraska team.
To
We
a
don't actually speak
5-7
about that. That
Nebraska
doesn't-
team
Doesn't,
Who got
that
it?
doesn't get spoken about.
who got in
Can
on
can we talk about the
progress
1999
on-
Rose Bowl? I mean, can we?
We're actually focused on the future. We've had one winning season since we lost to that 5-win Nebraska team in 2015, and it was last season. So we're on the up and up.
You could say Mike Riley put the UCLA program in a tailspin.
I'm just focused on the future because right now Chip Kelly has the current UCLA program in a tailspin.
All right, guys, let's just jump right into this. I don't know where we are right now. I don't know how many seconds we've been in, but I'm with Dylan. I'm already regretting this. Let's start with Doug, man. Doug, this is obviously massive news. We got UCLA and USC. I don't know why we spoke about UCLA so much in the first 3 minutes, but hey, we're here. What was your overall reaction to the news? I mean, I'm still in belief, and it feels like it's been over on the news for 24 hours now.
First thought, usually when these moves happen, they want the money. And second thing, UCLA's broke. They're broke.
Yep.
They're the Maryland in this situation when Maryland came. So I understand where Liam's coming from. I don't have money to my name right now. So it is not pretty for them, but they will make a lot of money because they lost an under contract and they replaced it. So, honestly, I think it's a good move. Perfect cultural fit in terms of academics. Both of them are AAU schools, which is pretty much a prerequisite for every single Big Ten school if you want to enter the conference, which we'll get into later when we're talking about what's next. I feel like the Big Ten's not done. They definitely will add another Western team, whether it's one or multiple. I'm not sure yet, but they will definitely add because they'll not leave those two stranded on their own. But all in all, this is the second domino outside of the Oklahoma-Texas move last year. So Godspeed to all those teams that are not in SEC or Big Ten.
Come on, Liam, let us hear it. How excited are you for that Rutgers UCLA game at the Rose Bowl? That's going to be guaranteed.
Just glad it's
2,000 attendance max.
Just glad it's not Rutgers, Kansas Day in like 2036. Gross. This is way better. UCLA is here in the Big Ten. I feel bad for every other Big Ten team. I think the Big Ten name is perfect too. You shouldn't change it to Big 16 or whatever, or something else that doesn't have to do with the number of teams in this conference. Big Ten people, listen up. This conference, long-standing history of success, championships, great pedigree. We're just here to add to that. We know about the tradition and the excellence here. We got it too. We've won a lot of national championships. We just don't have to talk about football, but the other stuff we're really good at. So we're good with that. We are broke too. Doug is definitely right. And people are going to say, we're only here because of SC. Yeah. So we're here. We're here.
All right, Kansas, let's go to you. How excited are you for the UCLA rematches? I feel like I don't even care about USC at this point, but hey, who cares, right?
All of it seems like a big joke to me. I'm just so excited to see UCLA and USC, like all the meme tweets that are out there. Like, can't wait to see USC see Iowa throw 3 tight ends out there in the snow in November, and they just like have to deal with it. Like, I am so excited for all of the funny moments that are about to happen. I am so excited that Lincoln Riley kind of gets bent over in this situation. I know he tweeted like so excited or whatever, but I know that man's was avoiding the SEC. We all know that. And now he gets to come play with the big boys in the Big Ten, which I believe the Big Ten is superior. So I'm excited to see how Lincoln will do.
The Big Ten superior to every conference. I think we're all in agreement there.
Yes.
I've long said that too.
I mean, hey, look, listen. Look, one of the Big Ten reps, i.e. Maryland, did beat an SEC rep in Texas. So
One to home and home, baby. One to home and home. And that's the last time I'll brag about that program. But that's
Big Ten power UCLA also beat a ranked LSU team last year in football. So I think the Big Ten is definitely the best conference when it comes to football and everything. College softball will help with that too. Oklahoma, they're good with the SEC, but we're good too.
SEC is the defending football, defending
Don't care.
baseball.
It's all about the future.
Bro, what future does UCLA have? It's not on the football field. Basketball, maybe.
In the classroom.
All right, you're bringing classroom. We're bringing professional athletes.
Okay, that you can't say. Like, UCLA stinks at winning games, but we produce good professional talent, and we produce better talent than SC does in football when they get to the NFL, and I want to hear otherwise. Like, that's just a straight up fact.
Oh, I'll shit on SC any time of the day. I agree. Like, I will shit on them. I will shit on them.
Their little brother in this scenario in the Big Ten. Like, everyone's gonna make fun of them every week and stuff. Whatever. They're kind of like Northwestern now. I think is a good comp.
So you know whose fault this all is? This whole realignment thing.
Under
Texas. Texas. If they weren't fucking around and decided to do that Longhorn Network bullshit, none of this would ever happen.
I've been saying that since Nebraska left for the Big Ten, that it's all Texas's fault with the Longhorn Network. And guess
how
what?
long has Longhorn Network even been around? Honestly,
it's been around for a decade,
10
and
years?
it's got like 4 years left before that whole SEC deal happens.
It was like right before Nebraska left, because like Nebraska saw that deal happen, and they were like, they saw the dominoes.
So the whole beef,
and now the Longhorn Network can't even happen because of the SEC's TV rights. So Texas basically fucked over everybody in the Big 12, unless those that got out. And then
this is just that meme of, and I know we've spoken about this, but that domino of, listen, the first domino is Longhorn Network gets created. The big one, USC and UCLA to Big Ten.
Or
You know
just
what's even funnier?
Who's in charge of that? Do we gotta get Dave or do we gotta get Dylan to get off this pot and have him do it? Who we gotta do?
No, you got to go back to Appalachian State because that's the first broadcast game on the Big Ten network. First broadcast game, Appalachian State, Michigan. Appalachian State beat Michigan, showed viability of a conference network. And next thing you know, Pac-12 created the Pac-12 network that's in 0 homes in everybody in this chat.
Thank
And-
goodness.
Yep,
It's
and the rest
mine.
was history. You got DirecTV though?
No, I have Xfinity. I'm just built
Oh.
different.
Yeah,
Nice.
and do you still get do you get Pac-12 or no?
Me? Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you
Yeah.
ever watch it though.
Yeah. I mean, I do if I have to for like covering games or something, but not for
Yeah, but it's
shits
like the
and giggles.
worst. It's literally the absolute worst network that. It's the worst network that any conference has. It's
Yeah, but Yogi Roth and Bill Walton very good. Otherwise, yikes.
I just hope that this really means that Big Ten's going to finally fix their BTN because it's already been unwatchable. But the fact that like it's still arguably the second best network in terms of conference networks. It's only second the SEC. ACC's terrible. Pac-12's has been horrid, and obviously Big 12 doesn't even have a network. They should. Shout out.
I mean, how do you know the Pac-12 one sucks? Because nobody has it. How do y'all know?
Well, that's why it's
I
so
got a
bad. They
free
can't-
trial
they
on
can't
Sling.
generate any revenue. The fact that they can't expand it to other networks.
I got a free trial on Sling, so I knew it stunk when I had it.
It makes a really good point that Apple is being brought into the conversation of the rights to Big Ten Network and Big Ten broadcast. I think that's huge based on my experience with Apple just inking a deal with MLS, and it's 10 years and it's a bajillion dollars, and most of the world is moving towards streaming. So like how's it going to work? Apparently with the MLS, like some games are going to be in front of a paywall and the exclusive content and like the really good games are going to be behind the paywall. So I guess UCLA Rutgers will be behind the paywall, and I'm just, I really am excited for the Apple deal. Should it come about. I think it's a really, really good move and obviously a really good.
At this point, here's a genuine question. At what point now, as a recruit, why even go to a Rutgers or Maryland in terms of just why, like literally just why at this point? Like you're only there just to say that you play D1 football in a Power 5 conference. That's it. But in terms of actual success and competition, A, it wasn't happening before. A, it's zero chance in hell is happening now.
So I disagree actually, because with
Why?
these super conferences, they're definitely going to divvy it up. They're like, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to be 12 game, like full on schedule anymore. There's going to be like interconference playoffs before you get an actual playoff. But they'll probably like, so I think it's going to be, because you know how it's East-West, it's probably going to be more pod based or even just protected games. And you think about those schools, they're probably going to be protected against the smaller ones. It'll probably be like Rutgers Northwestern or Maryland, Illinois, Maryland, Indiana. So it's like and then like in general, also, you're just adding 4 schools that are not necessarily high in terms of being consistent. Like USC isn't consistent, UCLA isn't consistent.
Consistently
Stanford's-
bad we are. Or
Yeah.
mediocre is a better term.
Yeah, y'all are but.
Yeah.
Anyways, beside the point. Yeah, so none of these teams are like that high on the end outside of probably Notre Dame if they actually get the chance to add them. So I'm not worried about the competition. So players will still go where they know they can play. It's just
Should,
that
should
I
we
think
should we touch that? Should we touch? Because Doug, I know you got the info on this. What the hell does Notre Dame got to do to get out of this ACC contract?
so they just got a withdrawal from they got to pay exit fee, which I think is 140 million. And then after that, they can just pull all their other sports out and join the Big Ten. It doesn't work for the other AC schools because that's like a couple $100 million more than the 140, I believe. because they're
Yeah,
gonna,
because
like,
Notre Dame is not actually
they're not a full member.
ACC.
Exactly, they're a full member. They're pretty much a full member of everything but football. But they have the
And
way their
hockey.
deals.
Hockey.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
hockey,
they're
yeah.
Big Ten in hockey.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I know my Big Ten. UCLA hockey's on the way soon. Watch out. You never see an atmosphere like the UCLA hockey game. Little crosstown cup against SC. That's real hockey rivalry right there. None of that Big Ten, like, I don't know, Minnesota, Wisconsin hockey. Yuck.
Wilson's gonna feel hurt when he hears this pod.
Yep. He is.
But it's not the point.
Rage.
Yeah.
He's gonna raise all his Napoleon style rage up on you, man.
He's
Little
gonna
man
send me a
syndrome.
picture of the Bowling Green logo. Like that's gonna do anything.
Yeah. But back to the whole Notre Dame exiting thing. So right now they're just contract, like, if everything just stays as it is and they want to join the conference, if they don't like pay the exit fee, they're stuck joining ACC. Like I said, if they do want to join, if they don't want to join, they got to pay the exit fee, exit. Probably
What
gonna
what was Texas and Oklahoma's to leave the Big 12? I think it was like
it's
250 million.
I mean, for Den, like right now, I think it's like 72.80, like in terms of like right now. And Texas can front it. It's just Oklahoma's broke. Well, not broke, but they're poor. Not that makes any difference. But yeah, so that's why they're waiting the full term. But I do think they'll probably work out something. They might get out 2024 just to make it easier for everybody. But as long as the Big 12 gets at least one season with everybody in there, they'll be generous on the way out. Yeah, but Notre Dame, all they got to do is just pay the exit fee, withdraw their sports, and then they're home clear.
They're doing it.
How do you feel
Oh, how do I feel?
about the whole thing as a Big Ten or Big Ten Wisconsin fan?
I'm stoked. I truly am. I actually, my biggest, as wholeheartedly, my biggest issue with the whole Big Ten East, Big Ten West format was that it was literally designed for it to be won by Iowa or Wisconsin every season. Minnesota obviously had the once in 2019, but they got absolutely obliterated. Well, no, they didn't. No, they've never been to a Big Ten title game. I realized that they just say that they were Western Division champs that year, but they didn't even make the title game. So participation trophy for them. But no, we needed parity on the West side. Like I said, like Doug said, I don't think it's going to stay East-West. It's going to be pod-based, but I think Wisconsin needed tougher schedule in terms of divisional opponents. While I don't want to play a Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State every season like those guys do, to get a USC or UCLA in there, hey, beats the hell out of fucking. I hate to diss this, Kenzie, but like you've beaten us only once ever since you've been in the conference in 2012, and that was it. You haven't beaten us once since. Like we need better competition than Nebraska at this point.
Are you kidding me? I'm not even gonna touch on it. I'm not gonna touch on it.
3-9.
We almost beat Fresno State last year, so I see where Andrew's coming from.
And this is my hill I will die on, my only comment, if Adrian Martinez had a clutch bone in his body, we win the Big Ten. Anyways, continue.
Whoa.
Are we
Hold on, pump the brakes. No. We are not going past this. No, I'm sorry. We got to stop this pod for a quick second. I mean, keep recording, obviously. Win the Big Ten. Are you on crack? Like, come on now. Like,
we had the toughest schedule probably in the dang nation last year, the last 2 years, and we lost in the final quarter, final minutes by 9 points or less. The only game we realistically weren't in, but we kept it close, was Ohio State, and we lost by 9. Every other game, we had a prime opportunity to win.
I'm not saying that you guys wouldn't have been like bowl eligible. Like, you guys would definitely have been 6-6, 6-7 with the bowl loss.
Yeah, but once you start stringing wins together, the momentum goes Big Ten champions.
That is you are sniffing glue. Like, what is you doing?
That's a jump right there.
No.
So you're saying
don't let the Rebs get hot. Ole Miss, last one in, won the whole thing. You never know. Anyways,
didn't Nebraska last season only have one returning offensive lineman from the season prior? Like that line was absolutely awful last season.
Oh, they've been bad. They've been bad.
Ooh.
I mean, there was just no like. I mean, I hope Casey Thompson works out better, but
I'm still not
Just
hearing
no.
a really good rebuttal to what I've said with
So-
my facts.
because
You
for
guys
one
are
thing,
just-
Because
A
you don't
talent
have
is
any-
nowhere
you
near
guys
the
are just
level. Like,
talking about emotions you're feeling.
No,
from-
that's
you literally
bullshit.
just
You're
did the
talking
same
about
thing, saying
emotions.
string to string to string.
That is bullshit.
facts. I'm speaking facts. You guys are speaking emotions.
You're speaking facts of a 3
We're on
and
two
9.
different levels right now.
There is a 3 and 9. Dylan, talk. I'm sorry, I can't take any more right now.
I'm just here for the vibes, man. This is all I'm here for. I'm the lone Pac-12 guy now, so I'm just sitting back and
Ooh.
and
Not
taking
for
it all
long.
in.
Not for
That's
long. You're about to be
gross.
public
I
enemy
know.
number 3.
Oh, I'm aware. But right now,
So-
I'm just chilling because for
And-
right
and
now,
you're bringing the neighbors up north too.
oh, I know we're bringing the Fuskies in there. I'm aware. No, we're 8-0 against teams in the Big Ten in the last 4 years, including UCLA and USC. I ain't tripping. I'm totally fine right now. I mean, the one thing that like makes me wonder is how this has an effect on the transfer portal and recruiting, because you look at players that had offers from USC and UCLA. Now they see they'll be, facing higher competition every year. So maybe they jump ship. They want to go there. And on the flip side, players committed to USC or UCLA that are West Coast kids, they committed there because they want to be close to home and close to family so their family can go. I've talked to plenty of kids that's a huge priority. Now that all their games are in the Midwest or further, that's going to change their minds too. So
So does that make
Um,
USC and UCLA like less appealing to go to now?
for West Coast kids, maybe. Yeah. I mean, the brand is still there. The money's going to be better. So I feel like the money will probably sway some kids to, where the home factor, the family factor is probably going to be tested a little bit more. Like, what do some of these kids value more, their family or money? It's going to be an interesting debacle for some of those
I'm
kids.
choosing money
but-
every time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, man.
I mean,
some
look,
of
I
those-
love my family, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if I get no money, I can literally just give it to them just to be happy, and they don't get annoyed why I didn't choose a school that was closer to home.
and now you can pay for your family to travel to games. I mean, it's not like this is it's frowned upon like the Penny Hardaway James Wiseman situation. Like it's fair game now. So yeah, it's not impossible for their families to travel, but it definitely is hard because families like their roots.
I feel like you're really hiding something right now. Like you haven't really showed any emotion at all about
He knows it's done.
joining
knows-
Big Ten. Like you gotta tell me, like, how do you legit feel about the fact that hey, look, now Ohio State or Michigan could be a conference game every season.
I'm with it. I'm totally with it. I don't think there's anything to complain about if you're Oregon, because if you stay in the Pac-12, what's the best that the Pac-12 can do to rebuild? Get Boise State, BYU, San Diego State.
BYU
Like
is
there's
already
nothing
Big
that they can
12.
do. Oh, that's right. Yeah, BYU
I
is Big 12.
don't think the other two are options either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and
at
even
this
if they
point, now,
were,
do
it's
we
not.
have the same conversation now? Because remember, when Texas Oklahoma joined the SEC, when that news broke, we didn't know about Cincy, UCF, BYU, and Houston yet. Now I think now we're kind of expecting, for a Boise State to join. But like when you take out UCLA, Oregon, USC, now it's just like it don't matter anymore. Like you can't replace it with a Boise.
Boise State has
Yeah.
never lined up with the Pac-12 academically.
Bingo.
That's just never been a fit and never
Thank
will
you.
be a fit.
Yeah,
Because
because Idaho, it's a
What?
hillbilly state. That's what it is.
No, because Idaho, funny enough, is the actual school that can fit in, but they're FCS, which is
Yeah.
never going to happen.
like
12 schools are tier 1 research institutions, and Boise's not that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what's
Boise
gonna,
State, you learn how to peel potatoes. That's what you do over there.
and what's going to happen is like we've known Oregon, Washington are Big Ten now. Like we felt that way for the longest while. It seems the longest while is in what, like 29 hours or something. I have no clue, but like there is nothing that the Pac-12 could do aside from try and recruit their own members to stay. Like give Oregon, Washington your best pitch. Give Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado your best pitch too, because they're already looking at the Big 12, and it just lines up to where the best case scenario for the Pac-12 is to cut their losses, keep it a real Pac-2 or Pac-3 with Washington State, Oregon State, and possibly Cal, and say, well, we're down bad. The Mountain West, oh my goodness, we
Just
made
merge
the
straight
Mountain
up, like,
West
get Air
so
Force
bad.
Yeah, at that
Exactly.
point they got to merge. Yeah, at
Exactly.
that
So
point.
they'd have to cut their losses and merge with their existing 2 or 3 Pac-12 teams to hang on. If Cal's there or not, I have no clue what's going to happen to Cal. They're a
So-
super wild card, and they are broke.
So my thing with Cal, like you said, they're broke. So you think they're gonna pull like a Notre Dame and just be independent and then just go to?
I think they
different...
could be independent, yeah. But like,
I don't think
that
it's
is a
fun.
gross independent. And
Yeah,
where are they going to
'cause-
play basketball?
Probably Big West.
Like, that's disgusting.
It really
And
is.
they would win like 8. They would go 500 in Big West playing basketball. Like, that's how pathetic that state of the program is in. I botched the words there, but I don't care. Cal is down tremendously bad.
Now, one thing that we really do need to talk about at this point is and you know, I'm about to have a piece on this out, but how does this impact the Rose Bowl at this point? Because you ask every Pac-12 or Big Ten fan, including myself, the Rose Bowl is the pinnacle, you know, if you're not going to be in a playoff situation. You know, obviously, aside from Rose Bowl being a playoff, you know, a playoff semifinal, you know, and if it's just going to be a straight up Pac-12 Big Ten game, like where does that change come in? Like at this point, you know, could we see a USC versus Oregon State, you know, Rose Bowl, and we got an
I
Oregon
think
State?
we have to worry about that, Dylan.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know, we
like-
might have to. The Mountain West.
No,
The Mountain West, Oregon State
they
Beavers.
They would just change the Rose Bowl tie-ins. There's no way that they would let the mountain.
That would be it would literally just be a glorified Fiesta Bowl where it's just straight. It's literally just a Big Ten team, and then literally an at-large bid at that point. Like
Yeah,
we
I
could
agree.
start,
So to
we
be
can start
honest,
seeing SEC teams in it now.
we've had a Mountain West team in the Rose Bowl before. Shout out TCU. Sorry, Andrew.
Yes, of course, Mr. Andy Dalton. And they
The only reason why they
the
made a Rose Bowl that
elite
year was because
TCU
Oregon was in the national title game that year.
Yes, they had the elite helmets with the froggy with the rose, and those were sick.
I will say this: those days of the TCU uniforms were so much better than what they are now.
Yeah, the ones now are garbage. Not to like actually get so off track, completely off track right now, but TCU's current threads are an embarrassment to their program. Horrific in every sense of the word. A Big Ten power would never have uniforms that bad.
No, they really wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. We have seen those retro Ohio State. I know you called them like one of the best, but those Ohio State retros.
I didn't call them one of the best. I think that they need to be brought back, though. I really like them.
Or those neon green Michigan State across the chest. You know,
Oof.
those.
That's a rough
Those are the
subject.
worst.
Yeah, that's a rough subject for us Big Ten
Yeah,
people.
That's
don't
where
like
we
to
got to
talk
cut
about
this.
those.
Is right
No.
there. We can't talk about those. That's forbidden.
Ooh, those are bad. Let's not talk about like Brian Lewerke either. Let's talk about the good Big Ten QBs like DTR.
But back to the Rose Bowl thing, it almost one person I saw, I think it was on Twitter, was talking about if they make the college football playoff semifinal games permanent staples. So like if the Rose Bowl was a permanent college football playoff game,
That'd be
That would just be
garbage.
so bad. That would just be
which
horrible.
I hate that idea, but at the same time, like with everything that's happened in the last couple of years with college football and college athletics, all tradition is out the window. And so I really don't think that they would try to keep any sense of like tie-in, because college football playoff gets so much money, and if it expands, it's going to get so much more. So it almost makes me wonder if that's a legitimate possibility.
I think at this point, you know, I think you just got to make it a Big Ten and an at-large bid at this point. That's it. Just make it the Big Ten version of the SEC's Sugar Bowl. To be honest, that's truthfully all it is, you know. And I absolutely hate that because I love the fact that, you know, Big Ten and Pac-12 play each other in the Rose Bowl, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just a dead dream. And I think we're getting closer to a point where, as we see more of these conferences get bigger and bigger, SEC and Big Ten, we're probably still going to see Notre Dame, Washington, Oregon make moves, you know, and I would not be surprised if 2 years down the line, we're talking Florida State and Clemson join the SEC.
Well, they have
ACC,
to.
Yeah, that's gonna be
because
a lot.
ACC at this point is
The Pac-12 of the East.
exactly. It's gonna be dead. It's gonna be gone. You
The
know,
only thing saving them is that TV deal and those border rights.
and I think what I'm trying to get to is, you know, our conferences just gonna be dead in terms of, is the word conference game per se just going to have zero meaning at this point?
Depends on if we win or lose them. I'll let you know in a few years.
You know the answer. It's lose.
Yeah, they're nothing. Don't like them.
So at this point, does out of conference versus conference wins mean anything anymore? Because at this point, out of conference is just going to mean SEC playing a Big Ten school. That's literally what it's going to come down to. Because at this point, we're going to go down a path where I don't think schools are going to schedule G5 conferences anymore. Unless you can get a couple Big 12 schools in there, then they better hope that they can get that the new guys can get some new competition in there and actually win. I think the only way that the Big 12 is going to really succeed over these next 3 years when Houston, UC, BYU, and Cincy join is if one of those 4 teams can win a conference title over the first 2 or 3 years, just to give it some legitimacy.
Failing to play and schedule group of 5 teams in the long future, whatever, is just a horrific idea, and I don't think that would ever happen. Like the programs are still looking for comfortable, there's a win on our schedule, right? Like they don't want to play an absolute gauntlet every year. They still want wins. They still want to help the sport grow in the best way.
Yeah, but who's to say that schedule changes won't come? It was only not even between 5-10 years ago that the Big Ten implemented, hey, you can no longer schedule FCS teams. How do we not know it grows further than that?
To the counterpoint, why wouldn't you schedule the group of 5 if your conference week in and week out is throw a dart on a dartboard? It's a top 15 team. You need the balance. Why would you?
Exactly.
Well, that's the school's decision. But what I'm talking about is what if the conference themselves decides to implement a rule like that? I wouldn't rule it because that'd be higher revenue being brought in.
Yeah, but the schools would object because they do need at least a cupcake to.
I don't think coaches would be for that at all. Players wouldn't be for that. Just thinking of players having to go for an absolute war every single week, the toll that'll take on their bodies too, and everything.
Well, players aren't going to have a say in it.
Well, not
they
that
should have a say.
They're not going to. I mean, do you think Caleb Williams got asked if he wanted to join the Big Ten teams, if he wanted to play Rutgers?
No, but
there's a difference. There's a difference between actually leaving a conference where players shouldn't necessarily have a say and a schedule where a player should say because they're actively being involved in those games.
They're putting their body on the line every week to play in that.
Yeah, but they're not going to be confronted about that. They're literally not going to be
asked that.
Not that the NCAA has any legitimacy, but the NCAA wouldn't allow it because these smaller schools have to play the bigger schools to get money to keep
in order to live.
Then all these other institutions are just going to dissolve, and we're going to only have 32 colleges in North America.
And everything that was built up just comes crumbling down for 30-ish teams. Whoa.
Boise State needs the money from playing whoever for all of their programs. The NCAA would not allow it. Not that the NCAA is legit in any way or form.
This is why I always hated the fact that they eliminate there's conferences eliminate FCS games. That's literally their livelihood for the year. Them getting $1 million will pretty much would not maybe be their entire budget, just for the sheer nature of how modest these schools are. So yeah, don't eliminate these pod games. Actually, I think every school should play at least one pod game. I think every school should play at least one G5 game, just because in order to keep the cycle going. And if you cut everybody off by the limbs, then the schools that are higher up now will end up being the ones that were the ones that are garbage, and the cycle you whittle it down. And I don't think anybody wants to be whittled down like that.
Well, now here's another thing we got to ask is, let's take a school like Sam Houston State or a James Madison that's going from FCS to the FBS. Now we got to think about the pull factor here. Big Ten brings in UCLA, USC. Pac-12 is going to bring in, probably Utah State, probably just merge straight up with a Mount West. Now you're going to start seeing the AAC. They've already brought in Rice and UTSA. At the end of the day, Conference USA, they've already brought in James Madison, Sam Houston. Where does the pull stop? Are we going to start seeing North Dakota State start transitioning to maybe perhaps a Big 12?
King's not
No.
leaving the castle. They're just
No.
going to dominate the FCS forever. Alabama
'Cause-
wouldn't ever want to leave where they're dominating, and DSU doesn't want to leave what they're dominating and what they've built up.
But,
So
but
you
that's
notice
beside the
that-
point. What
so-
about like a Montana or
No.
Montana State, I think,
No.
are very viable to go move up to FBS.
so if they were
and
given
go to
FBS
a-
money,
go-
they
Yeah, I
would
think
not-
Montana and Montana State are ready to jump into FBS play if it's a weakened Pac-12 to where it's Oregon State and Washington State left, and they were to go merge with the Mountain West and start building an actual conference. I think those two Montana schools and possibly Eastern Washington or like UC Davis are all very viable to join that.
So
weakened
here's the
Pac-12
thing.
Mountain West.
So here's the thing, right? So you notice all these schools that are coming up from the FCS to FBS, they're all Southern. You know what's also helpful? The Sun Belt. The only conference that's out there is the MAC, really. And the MAC's been pretty content and outside of flirtation with Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee State. There's just simply not a conference that will take a team straight from FCS and make them a power team. I mean, there's not a conference that'll take a team for FCS and make them a power team after the fact. So these teams usually got to grow through it. Like Liberty went to independent because the NCAA didn't want to get sued. They would have lost, even though I'd been annoyed that they lost. But think about it. Liberty, James Madison, Sam Houston State, Southern Alabama, Georgia State, Georgia Southern. Like all these schools are coming from the South. Like to be honest, everybody here, when was the last school like Midwest, West that came from the FCS?
Dixie
St.
State
Thomas.
/ Utah Tech.
St. Thomas moved D3 to D1.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like
snipe
D4.
from 3.
But that's like D1. Like I'm talking about like FBS stuff. Like FBS, like teams that have moved like last.
I'm sure Utah State used to be FCS. I don't know
Maybe.
how long
But
ago,
like
but
that's the thing. Like everything that's coming up is coming through the East because it's just an easier like path and navigation. And also there's an NCAA rule that just says that you need a conference invite to come up. And I don't think they're going to waste that. I think they'd rather just dissolve or merge than add these teams that don't really provide any sort of value to their market. That's just me though.
That's fair. I think that's a good perspective.
so let's kind of like go back to the big picture here. And I know we kind of brushed on a little bit. Is the Power 5 university turn into a Power 2? Power 3, Big 12 being other team?
It's going to be like a Power 2, and then it's going to be like a weekend Big 12, and then the rest. So Big 12 will get they'll get the four corner schools: Arizona State, Colorado, Utah. They'll get a few ACC leftover schools. They'll get like Louisville. They'll get like probably one of the Florida schools. I don't think they'll get both Florida schools, probably just because of the sheer nature. They won't, like, the Florida schools won't get into the Big Ten because academics, and the SEC pretty much already has North Florida covered with UF. So I think it's Miami. Probably throw in some of the northern schools. The Big 12 is going to be basically that third conference of hodgepodge of mixes, but other two SEC, Big Ten, those are going to be the teams.
My brain hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In all seriousness, we could literally just spoken here about what our initial reaction was, and that kind of seemed to be the theme of this, but we just went in for a complete psychedelic trip. We're eventually talking about apocalypse stuff here now.
That's what college football / sports is now. Is just a straight up apocalypse.
It's honestly just straight up just not knowing what's going to happen. That's literally is. There's literally nothing here that we can honestly say set in stone. All we can really do is just pretend to be a fortune teller.
It's going to be survival of the fittest. I think you're already kind of seeing that. With schools and conferences, because the Big 12, if it doesn't do what Doug just said, where it picks up all the scraps from everybody else, that's pretty much going to die. Pac-12 it's
on life
is already
support.
Yeah, its
Yep.
its tombstone is already written. Its grave is already dug. ACC is such a
George.
weird one. The ACC is the biggest wild
ACC
card
has
in my
been toast
opinion.
for a while. ACC's been toast probably even before the Texas Oklahoma news, just because Florida State's been in a position where, it's just never recovered, especially in the Norvell era. Miami has just never been in a winning situation since they've been somewhat back, since at least like somewhat on a national recognition level. ACC it's honestly just been Clemson and everybody else. It's been that way for the last 5 years.
But you got to think about other schools too, or other sports too, because with football, nobody cares about Duke or North Carolina, but in basketball, that's monstrous.
Yep.
The ACC is the perennial conference in basketball.
Here's
So,
the issue that we got to talk about. We got to look
football's
at we got to look at like the revenue as a whole. I believe I read something that 80% of all college sports revenue comes from football itself. That's 80%.
Yeah.
We're talking 15% is basketball, and we're talking the other 5%. I don't even think it's that much, but essentially the remaining 3-4% is like your canoeing, it's your rowing, it's your shooting, it's your lacrosse. Canoeing is
those were the
That's
most obscure sports you could have named.
I actually like that though.
Hey, I'm giving support to the other guys.
He's a well-rounded athlete.
Could have said
I didn't even say soccer.
How about softball and what you?
He's a well-rounded athlete, man.
I would just like to say the Big Ten in softball has made 2 College World Series in the last 5 years. UCLA has made it the last 7 years. You guys are welcome that UCLA is going to come in and help your softball viewership and help the game grow in the Midwest. You're welcome.
By the way,
Wisconsin,
I'm shouting you guys out right now. Bring back our baseball program. It's way overdue now.
I want to point out something funny. If Doug's like Big 12 scenario does play out, that Colorado would then have to rejoin the Big 12. And I just think that's so funny. It's so Colorado. Like
There's so many.
Everybody thought they got out the best by going to the Pac-12 instead of the Big 10 or the SEC or whatever, because Missouri has been dead in the water in the SEC. I'm sure a lot of people forget that they're in the SEC, but
that bank account,
Colorado made out the best, and they're going to have to rejoin the Big 12.
Shout out Missouri, former SEC East champions.
Yeah, we shut that shit down.
Colorado is just going to be like the child of the divorced parents that neither parent wants at this point.
God damn.
No, sadly enough, he's actually probably being nice saying that about them.
Yeah, no, he is nice.
A little bit. Funny. I held back a little bit.
So it's funny because like the whole thing.
He could have said that they're the orphan that's still there by the time that the orphanage goes out of business. I mean, that's honestly what it is.
Okay.
Jesus, whole cider house rules right there. But yeah, the scenario that's funny, right? So it's not just Colorado that has to go back begging and groveling. It's these Pac-12 presidents and ADs that turned down these Big 12 schools saying that they didn't need them last summer when Texas and Oklahoma left and the Pac-12 was in prime position to poach. Pac-12 lacking zero forethought. We're like, no, we're good. And next thing you know, boom, they got to go back. Where's it lead you? Where'd your fate? Can't speak.
Where did that lead you to? Back to me.
Thank you. Stole my thunder. Anyways, but yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah,
he was
shout out
still wrong,
Thanos.
though.
He was wrong, but he's right about this.
But what the
he could have
hell
just
was
doubled the
this
population, to be honest.
What the hell was this whole the alliance crap about then? Like, there's no. It was
fun.
It was a whole sham.
No,
everything's a sham.
USC and UCLA literally just stabbed the Pac-12 in the back. That's literally
that's
what they
true.
did.
Kevin Warren tells UCLA, SC, Oregon, Washington, this alliance was all just a facade to get
it was a mask.
Big Ten.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
it's a facade.
Wait, I got it. It's a Trojan horse.
You're canceled, dude.
Yeah.
Way to
I'm
go,
gonna take
Rooster.
out of here.
Kick him off.
Rooster.
No.
Pick him up.
To be fair, it is better than what Andrew Stewart would have said. Like, I know he would have said something worse.
You're damn right about that. Or he probably would have said the same thing, honestly.
I think he would have said the same thing.
Are we surprised Kevin Warren's a liar? No.
Oh,
He's not a liar.
No, but
he's my commissioner.
he did the wrong thing for the right reasons.
He did the right thing for the right reasons.
Yeah, he
Now
did.
here's the thing. I went to that Zoom thing for them all because I had to cover it. Kevin Warren was the one that seemed like he was the least involved and least enthusiastic about this whole thing. If anybody was going to make a move like this to try to poach from those two other conferences, it was going to be Kevin Warren, because this whole alliance thing was hardly a formality. I mean, of course, it's not going to do anything until a couple years from now. It was just like a handshake agreement that meant nothing of immediate substance or value.
It was literally just a bar meeting between two people that were like, "Yeah, I hate this. Yeah, I hate."
I would just say it was
let's stay in contact. That's literally all it was.
It was like third grade.
Yeah.
And each conference is still its own business anyway. They're not tied to each other with this thing. They're still going to do what they're going to do to rival now the SEC. And that's exactly what the Big Ten did. And that's probably what's going to keep happening.
I feel bad though for George Klubakov. That poor guy, to no fault of his own, just saw this fall out in front of him, and it's all Larry Scott's fault. I just feel terrible for him. He's actually like done a good job as commish, and again, to no fault.
He got dealt a shit hand. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
he got dealt a shit hand.
Just Story Bonatoni, who I did a video with yesterday, was talking about how bad she feels for George, because about a month ago, George was on ESPN talking about how he is rooting for the Big Ten to set the tone, to get things going, to get the ball rolling, like make life better for the Pac-12 and everything. And
well, he didn't
don't
make
think
it
he's
better.
ruined anymore.
I mean, they got the ball rolling, but they didn't make life better for the Pac-12 in any sense of the word.
I disagree. What if George's plan has always been for that?
Oh, no. You are not bringing them into this. There is
Oregon
no
State
way.
and Washington State?
They help them enjoy Colorado State and San Diego State. They're going to enjoy those games.
Nevada's not happening, but that would be fun though.
UNLV to the Big Ten, so just watch out.
Oh well.
Gotta get the Las
There's gonna be
Vegas.
so many vetoes.
I think we're looking to kick Rutgers to the curb at this point. They're not.
I agree. I don't think Rutgers will sue for success in this conference.
They're either going to be kicked to the curb or they're going to have their own little special pod. That's exactly what we're going to do.
It's going to be the pod.
You can't start kicking teams out of conferences, or it's just
Nebraska's next to.
Kenzie's right, because the only teams that have gotten kicked out weren't full-time members, and those were Temple and UMass. Like, you're not kicking out full-time members, because next thing you know, it just creates a thing of paranoia, creates a thing of fear, and no president will agree to it. They won't have the votes. It's just absolutely dumb to kick those teams out. No, because
you can't base everything around college football. I'm sorry. I know that's why we're here, but consider the academics of the Big Ten. Like, you can't just start kicking people out because they don't bring the same revenue in football.
Especially the Big Ten, because even though the TV contracts and revenue are worth millions, the Big Ten Academic Alliance and the AAU status, all the schools are worth billions, and billions always trumps millions.
I do get what you're saying, but just think of how funny it would be if the Big Ten kicked Rutgers out. That's good. That's good content.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just do it. It's just funny. Like, we won't kick anyone else out. Just be funny if we kicked Rutgers out. I was like, have fun, Rutgers. You're in the MAC now. Maybe they win 5 games in the MAC too. Oh my.
Or they create a Yankee conference with whatever. I think it was Big
that
Ben
was
Boomer or whoever.
Yeah. No, it wasn't him.
Atrocity.
Thank goodness it wasn't him. Seems like it was him. But no, that was in the
sounds
back
like
of my
something he
head.
would do. That's why I said it.
Yeah. I'm just really excited to find out, and for you too, Dylan, to find out who your Big Ten rival is. I'm thinking Michigan.
Wisconsin.
It's got to be
Michigan.
Wisconsin, because we played each other in the Rose Bowl twice over the last 11 years. It kind of only makes sense at this point. So, I mean, it's good because like Wisconsin needs a legit rival, because unfortunately we've been owning Minnesota and Iowa over the last 10 plus years. So, yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's a good
We own the Big
rivalry.
Ten anyway, so
Speaking of that,
Good
fun
luck
fact.
finding a name though for your rivalry, because this UCLA Michigan rivalry already has a name. We kind of play in the biggest football game of the conference every year, the Brawl. So like, I don't know. I think we kind of have a better
Fun
rivalry
fact: if
than
Caleb
Oregon's
Williams decides to play one extra year than what he's eligible for, which I know is not going to happen unless he has a Spencer Rattler type junior year, he's probably got to kind of come to Camp Randall and deal with that hostility for for playing us this late spring, because we got fucking played. We get in the whole tour, we go on the red carpet, and we still got fucking played.
That was never happening.
it was no, bro. He
Nick,
saw your offense.
Nick Herbig is going to chase him down. He's going to knock his teeth out.
They saw the Wisconsin offense. He knew he was going to nope out of there real quick. Come on, Doug. Have some pride, man. Have some shame, man.
What were you
Have
gonna
some
say
shame.
earlier, though, Doug?
But what?
I don't know.
We were talking
saying
about
something.
Oregon, Wisconsin, and then you brought something up.
Yeah, I was talking about the Brawl.
I didn't know that was a name for it.
Yeah, the UCLA Michigan heated rivalry is called the Brawl.
I was talking about
made
how
it up.
Wisconsin needed a real rival, so I was okay with Oregon coming in. But then you brought something up.
You're talking a lot of smack for a program that hasn't done anything.
We've done a
Says a
lot.
Nebraska fan who's had only 2 winning seasons since joining the conference.
I've
Ooh.
never said Nebraska.
You literally said you would have been Big Ten champs if you would have won one extra game last season. and
I've
it
never
would've-
said we've
And-
done anything substantial.
UCLA would have
We
been
made a
Big Ten
Big Ten-
champs.
we
if
made a
played
Big
in the
Ten
Big
title
Ten last
game.
year.
We made a Big Ten title game in our first 2 years.
and got smacked 84 to like 28.
Y'all the Missouri of the Big Ten.
No, we're not.
That's
even
literally
close.
what happened to Missouri.
Not even close.
Missouri was at least competitive in their SEC title game.
Not even close.
Yeah, y'all got waxed twice.
We're like, I like to think UCLA and the Big Ten is a lot like SMU and the Pony Express years.
Elaborate.
I don't know.
Just the best. Just the best. Sure, we might
All right.
figure out how to recruit all of a sudden, but
Well, hopefully you men and women's softball, because there's
Yeah, I
really
did.
no other.
I
Okay,
thought
'cause
I
there's
thought this
no
was
other
a,
sport.
I thought this was a softball podcast. Is it not?
It's not.
And look, Kenzie saying, "Why am I talking so much? What is that about? Why wouldn't I talk?"
Talking about me.
Oh,
Oh,
never
Liam.
mind.
No, Liam, I was not talking to you.
Oh, never
Yes.
mind.
I cannot be bothered with what UCLA is doing.
Thanks. I thought
She was like,
UCLA.
but here's the thing. At least Wisconsin has 2 New Year's 6 wins over the last 7 years. I'm pretty sure that's more than Michigan. That's definitely more than Michigan State. I'm pretty sure that's more than.
Wait, I don't think
been to
it's
the
more
They
than
playoffs
have
Michigan
a
State.
Rose.
Michigan has a Rose Bowl and a Cotton.
When did
And
Michigan
Michigan
win
and
the
Michigan State have both been to the playoff. I know they lost, but
So Michigan State beat Baylor that 1 year, and then Michigan
Okay.
State.
when when did they play in the Rose Bowl?
Michigan State.
Yeah, they played in like the
Every
100th year.
Saturday.
Oh, that's 2. They won the Peach, and then they won the Cotton. So that's
Well, we still
2.
got more than Michigan. We still got more than Michigan.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah, and we still got more than Penn State. Because Penn State has the Cotton Bowl over Memphis, and I forgot which other ones they got. They haven't won an orange. They haven't won a peach. Yeah, I have my right
and
to
a Rose
talk.
Bowl.
Not
They lost to USC that year. Remember?
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they lost to USC in 2016.
Yeah. They won the never mind. They won the Cotton. They won the Fiesta, so it's 2 for them.
Oh yeah, fuck the Fiesta.
Love
Yeah.
the Fiesta Bowl now.
All right.
This has
Anyway,
been
none of y'all
fun.
are national champions. None of y'all are national champions. We've won multiple New Year's 6 games, won multiple playoff games. So
You're talking about Georgia now. Okay, that's not what this is about. We're talking Big
Okay.
Ten.
Yeah,
Yeah, talk about your Big Ten school, by the way.
Yeah, forget that.
All right, so
Forget that.
Anyways, so
Put your Maryland hat on, dude. Come on.
I don't have. A
You've
Maryland
worn
hat.
your Maryland jersey on here multiple times.
Yeah, put your literally put your Maryland jersey on. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, you
Supposed to be
see the way
competition in this
like I'm
conference?
gonna wear my Todd Gurley joint, but
I don't
on a
know who
serious
that
note-
is. They didn't play Big Ten ball.
Honestly, on a serious note, Maryland's probably going to still be like sub 500 for the rest of their career. or rest of their lifetime. It's bad. It's
I feel like
bad.
there's a rivalry name for Oregon, Maryland, with both of our mascots being like aquatic animals. I feel like there's something there. I just don't have it off the top of my head, but I think there's something there.
The lake battle of the lake.
Tank ball.
Tank
I mean-
ball. If Oregon sucked, that would be really good.
The football game.
Wow, classic.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
That was good.
I love that creativity.
Thanks.
Oh,
That's what we
so
bring.
does this mean you're coming to if Oregon ends up joining Big Ten, you're coming to the Midwest or what?
If I got some money to do so, sure.
You got the
how,
bread, bro.
how much money? How much you willing to pay to go to Ryan Field?
I would not pay $1 to go there.
I think the only ones that I'd say I wouldn't go to on the road would be like Illinois and Indiana, probably. Maybe
Well, here's the
Northwestern.
thing: Illinois, Champaign is like country land. That's like Southern Illinois. It's like one of the worst areas to ever be in. I drive through there. Every time I drive through the Midwest, it's horrible. It's about as bad as Arkansas.
Oh, no. U of I knows
It's
how to party.
about as horrible as Arkansas, just without the stench of Arkansas.
Sorry, Freddie.
No. One time me and her did a pod, she acknowledges Arkansas stinks. She says Fayetteville is beautiful, but like once you step outside UArk, I mean, if you got to use the bathroom, just wait until you get to Tennessee. That's how it is.
Hey, that's a truck stop. It's not Big Ten country where the conference of champions. Come on, let's keep it about us. Like you're
All right,
welcome,
so
by the way.
Big
one
Ten
like
country now.
so.
Welcome. Yeah,
we're
now that
wrapping
we have
up.
Bill Walton in the Big Ten, there are no truck stops here. All
I will say
these
this: I know
cities and
we
towns
keep
are high
going like
class.
time to time without saying like it's not just college football. That Big Ten and maybe like UCLA, if y'all pick it up a little bit more, that you add such great quality basketball to the conference. Like I'm not even saying that it's jokingly. That is going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I just absolutely despise the style of play in the Big Ten is the issue. I hate watching Big Ten basketball when it's two Big Ten teams playing each other. I'm sorry, I just don't get excited watching 1974 basketball where we're just dumping it in post feed to the big man every time down and just watching them do work. I don't get hyped watching Hunter Dickinson play ball. It's just I hate the Big Ten style of play for basketball.
Hey, so you hate your team then?
What do you mean? No, we're going to bring a real West Coast flair to the Big Ten basketball. We're not though, because that's not how we do it. But I don't know. I know straight up though that Cronin wasn't happy yesterday. So there's that.
I don't blame him.
He's never happy, it seems. He's just a little angry short dude.
He's a bald ginger.
He's not a ginger.
So he's a leprechaun, an aging leprechaun. That's what he is.
Leprechauns have hair.
Well, he's aging though. So yeah, he's losing hair.
I would just like to say before we wrap this up, the Big Ten is so very welcome for what UCLA and SC, I guess, have brought to the table. I feel like about 30 hours in now, and the Big Ten over on Twitter has just been electric, and that's all thanks to UCLA. It's all thanks to the great work that we've been doing, and I know Oregon and Washington are going to help that a lot when they eventually join. And Twitter's just going to be a better place for Big Ten now.
Have some shame, dude.
Just being honest.
Have some shame, bro. Like, have some respect for yourself.
Just being honest. The memes that came from this were incredible content.
They are incredible content.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you're an incredible program. Like y'all are
It
just.
does. The two
No, it
tie in
doesn't.
very easily. Yeah, they tie in very easily.
Y'all are Rutgers with hair dye.
IRA called us Rutgers. We're 18 and 25 in the last 4 years. Like, what are we gonna do?
Hey, thanks for the academics though.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And you guys are cooked when it comes to recruiting. Absolutely cooked. Sure, look at this. 54 total offers Chip Kelly has made in the 2023 class. Only 5 of them have committed UCLA, and like everyone else is committed anywhere else. But wait till we start recruiting the Midwest. We start going into Wisconsin. We start going into Iowa. We start going into Ohio. And we start accumulating all the talent straight from the Big Ten. Frightening sight for you guys.
I give it under 9 recruits in the class of 2025.
Ooh, what you didn't factor in was head coach of the UCLA Bruins, Brian Hartline.
Oh my
I think this is where we
I
go.
thought you were going to say Brian Larson.
End it.
No, I was not gonna say ours.
No.
It's got to be a random though. I do want to say that real quick. UCLA has to make a coaching change before they actually enter the Big Ten, or else we're actually cooked.
All right, so one good question before we go. Do you think Lincoln lasts to a Big Ten move, or do you think he's going to bolt to the NFL or anything?
Lincoln, he's staying.
I feel like he'll go to the NFL when he's given the opportunity with the money.
New York Jets head coach Lincoln Riley, 2024.
Step down.
We're talking 2
Gen Z.
seasons. It's 2024 is coming up. I think 2 seasons is still too short of a window. I think he'll get 1, maybe 2 seasons.
Money.
Yeah, money talks. He's gone. I think
That's why he's at USC.
that guy's never told the truth in his life on any interview he's done.
Yeah, he
He's-
said he could cook.
exactly. He's gone the second he gets offered the bag from an NFL team.
All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up. If you listened to this all the way through, sorry for our antics. Sorry for Kenzie's rabbling. Sorry for my defensiveness. Doug, you fucked up somehow. I don't know how you did, but I know you did.
I swear like a sailor.
Start talking about Georgia.
Dylan, sorry that you didn't get as mad or hyped up as we wanted you to. You need to start being angry on these podcasts, man.
Oh, well. It is what it is.
All right, guys.
I'm the
don't
odd
forget
guy
to
out
like.
here for right now.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that. All right, y'all have a good one.
Check it out.